Hi everyone, I'm David Aragona, he's Mike Beer, and we're taking a look at some of the undercard action on Belmont Stakes Saturday. Race 7 is the Grade 3 True North, going the 6.5 furlong distance on the dirt for some of the best sprinters in the country. And speaking of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, you want to take advantage of our Belmont Stakes packages at DRF.com. You can get save money by purchasing your PPs along with everything else bundled in these packages. The clock reports for all 5 days of this Belmont Stakes Racing Festival if you buy the 5-day package. Also, the betting strategies that Mike and I'll be writing for Saturday, so make sure to check out that at shop.drf.com. Also, if you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, like this video, and leave us a comment with who you're looking forward to seeing running on Belmont Stakes Saturday. Well, Mike, this True North got downgraded by the Graded Stakes Committee to a Grade 3 event, but it feels like it's a better than a Grade 3 field this year.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, certainly among, I was going to say, David, the two main players, who the 5 and the 6, who both feel like they're kind of legit Grade 1 sprinters, but really it's 3, because Nakatomi, you know, he's got some flaws, but he's a legit top-class sprinter as well.
He's a Grade 1 winner over this track in the Vanderbilt last year, so it feels like this race did attract some of the top dirt sprinters in the country. To get a sense of how this field might sort themselves out through the early stages, let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, Mike. And I was a little surprised to see that favors frontrunners flag showing up here because the number 1, Concrete Glory, has a ton of early speed, and I wonder if that last race where he failed to break out of the gate is sort of messing with the pace projector a little bit, because he had shown so much speed in his other races, and what happened last time, obviously not something you need to consider with how much early speed he possesses.
Exactly. He's got the rail here, and they're testing him in a graded stakes race. He's going from the inside. He'll make the lead in this race, I think, David, and then we'll just see, you know, to me, the main other pace player is the 6 Mullikin, who's just a fast horse drawn to the outside. He's going to be right up close, but we'll see how fast they make him go.
Well, let's begin the conversation with that horse that was shown just barely leading on the pace projector, the number 1, Concrete Glory. But if he breaks cleanly from the gate, you know what the game plan is going to be with him. His major weapon is speed, and he'll go from the inside. Like last time out of that Maryland sprint, he wears an extension blinker, and it looked like he had his head turned just as the start was occurring, and he couldn't see that the gates were opening, so he just wilt in the starting gate. That's one of the downfalls of wearing the extension blinker sometimes. We'll see if they make a change to his blinkers here. He's wearing them again, but we'll see if he's wearing that exaggerated extension blinker once again. But he had some nice form down at Gulfstream over the winter. Just feels like he has to prove himself against a field that's this tough.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they were trying to do in Maryland last time, is to see if he could prove himself against graded stakes horses. And unfortunately for them, they didn't get to find out because he didn't break. So they're going to try to find out here. And unfortunately for them, this is a way tougher field than that one he was going to run in a few weeks ago.
Mike, I can be a sucker for deep closers at times, and the number 2, Crazy Mason, is a horse that I've become a big fan of. I mean, how could you not when you watch races like this Grade 2 Carter victory that we'll take a look at last time? The way that this horse just quickens the turnover of his stride once he's asked at the top of the stretch is something that you rarely see in dirt races, and he's won 3 in a row now. So since they turned him back in distance last fall, he just has really taken to sprinting. He's found his niche at this point, and they've kept stepping up in class, but he keeps stepping up his performance level as they ask more of him. And I know that the Carter was not quite as strong a field as what he's facing here, but horses have actually come back out of that race to validate the number he got.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, this horse has been really good. His last 3 races are all legit, really good performances, and now they're going to step him up again. And obviously, if nothing else, this is a way tougher field. The Carter field was okay. I think that runner up there, Quince Brew, he's a nice horse. He's got some fast figures as well. I still don't think I would like him in this field. This is just a way tougher spot for Crazy Mason. He's going to have to close down some really nice horses in here. And it's also at least worth pointing out that Carter, as good as he looked winning, that pace was fast. That pace was contested. It set up really well for him. I'm very interested to see what he does here, David. I don't know if I can bet him.
The number 3, Surveillance, has been in pretty good form lately since the claim by Linda Rice. He's just gotten very consistent, doesn't win these stakes races that often, but he can be right there at the end. He was, though, no match for Crazy Mason when they met in the Carter. Yeah,
he wasn't. Listen, he's a really, really cool horse, but, you know, he's getting older now, and he just is what he is. He's going to show up. He's going to run well every time. He can get any kind of a trip in a race. You don't have to worry about that. I just don't know that he's good enough to beat horses like this.
Yeah, this effort that we're taking a look at in the John A. Nehru, he was pretty game to battle out to the wire, but horses like what you're talking about in Silver Slugger, I would not really consider them contenders in a race like this. Speaking of horses that need to show their class, well, the number 4, Nakatomi's already done so. As I mentioned, he's been good for a long time. He actually ran a bang-up race in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at the end of 2023, finishing a good 3rd that day behind some nice runners like Elite Power and Gunnate. And didn't run that much in 2024, but he did earn that Grade 1 victory in the AG Vanderbilt over this course. Mike, they went over to Dubai again like they tried last year in the Dubai by Golden Shaheen for his last start. And it looked all through the stretch like he was going to get there, and he was just kind of hanging a little bit in the late stages. Don't really know how good the horse that beat him is. I think he was a 3-year-old who wasn't really expected to beat a field like that on the day. So I wonder if Nakatomi's going to have to improve on that performance and beat a field like this, but we know he's got back races that he can go to.
100%. Yeah, I feel the same way about his last race there. I just felt like he was kind of supposed to win there and he didn't get it done, but that's kind of been the story of Nakatomi's life. I mean, before he won that Vanderbilt last summer, he was 0 for 10 in graded stakes races. I mean, he always kept running well in them. He just couldn't win them. That was the right field for him, where he only had to beat the overrated Skelly, and he got the right ride in there and he got the job done. I'm a Nakatomi fan. I know that he can win this race, but I would just wait and see what kind of price he is.
Mike, you don't often say that a 4th place finish is a heartbreaking beat for a horse, but I think you can make that statement about the number 5
100%.
Danno in the Grade 1 Churchill Downs last time, because he ran his eyeballs out in that race. I mean, he was asked from the start to keep up with what was a really honest pace by Paco Lopez. You could tell Paco wanted to keep him engaged every step of the way, and he shot through between horses in mid-stretch like he was going to win this race, actually stuck his head in front, and the whole field just came together like an accordion at the end in mind frame. He was able to use his stamina to wear them down. This horse's good race makes him one of the better sprinters in the country. We saw it last year when he won the Grade 1 Woody Stevens this weekend. We'll see if he can produce that kind of effort again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can. He's 3rd off the layoff now, and so you would just hope that maybe he could continue to hold his good form, because each of his, the first start back was just a prep against 2 other horses, but he, as you've already alluded to, he ran great last time. It was a really, really tough beat for him. He's a legit Grade 1 sprinter. This is the right spot for him. He can get the right trip in this race as well. There's just a lot to like about it.
The number 6 Mullikin is coming out of the same race, that competitive Grade 1 Churchill Downs on Kentucky Derby Day. And Mike, you drew the far outside post, 11 of 11, and they wanted to keep him engaged early. That's his running style. He likes to be part of the pace, and he was just forced to go really wide every step of the way, all the way around that far turn. He's another one that kind of got there in mid-stretch, and I wonder if it was the layoff, his first start back off that break, that just kind of got to him in the last furlong.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to look at that race. All in all, he ran really well in there. It was a tough spot to return in. He was wide all the way, and he fought very bravely in there. I feel like just between him and Danno, who to me are obviously the 2 right horses in this race in a lot of ways, they've run against each other twice recently, and to me, Danno ran better both times. I mean, we'll just see if that's the case in here. But Mullikin, he's going to be part of this pace in here. I just felt like, David, between the 2 favorites, I could nitpick his form a little bit more than I could Danno's.
The number 7 Full Moon Manus is going to be one of the bigger prices in this race. He does have a 98 buyer when he won the Tom Fool, going 3 starts back at Aqueduct, but beating a field that probably doesn't quite stack up against this one. He defeated Surveillance that day. We already talked about how he might be a cut below these. And Mike, this is a horse that has stepped up against some tougher fields the last couple of times and just hasn't really been able to hold that form.
Yeah, I agree with you. Still like him a little bit as a horse, but you know, I thought he got the wrong ride in the Carter 2 starts back, so I wanted to be a little bit lenient there. I'm not sure why they got so aggressive with him that day, but they did, and he paid the price. I really thought that he would run better last time, and he didn't.
The number 8 Nutella Fellow rounds out the field on the outside. He's another one that's probably going to be a big price in this race, but he is another Grade 1 winner at Saratoga that is returning to the site of his greatest triumph. That was a 54-1 upset in the Hopeful back in 2023. He actually ran pretty well when he got back to Saratoga in 2024, closing to be 3rd behind Danno in the Woody Stevens. He just has not come close to that speed figure since then, Mike. He's been a horse that's hard to keep on the racetrack, and he really threw a fit before the start in the Commonwealth last time and delayed the start of that race by a good 5 minutes. So the others might not love that he's drawn in the outside post and is the last to load here.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully he's got his act together here and doesn't hold up the proceedings again. I mean, I guess if you wanted to like him, he's going to be a big price in here. And I guess if you're one of those people who, you know, believes in that horse for course kind of angle, he's run 2 really good races here.
Mike, where did you go in this True North?
I like Danno, David. I really couldn't get to any of the other horses in here. I felt like it was maybe for the most part among the 4, 5, and 6, and I prefer the 5.
Mike, like you, I think that Danno and Mullikin are the 2 horses to beat in this race, the 2 most likely winners. I've just been so taken with that late kick that Crazy Mason puts in, and I don't know if he can step up once again against a field that's this tough, but he's already exceeded expectations a few times.
He's the interesting horse.
We'll see if he can do it again, because he probably is going to be the 4th choice in this race behind Nakatomi, Danno, and Mullikin. So the number 2, Crazy Mason for me, and the number 5, Danno for Mike in the Grade 3 True North on Belmont Stakes Saturday. Good luck if you're playing the races this weekend.